Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our Friday with the Fellas edition of Prim and Proper Sports. I'm your host, Sonia Pearson. Good evening. I'm joined with B. Strilla and J. Trey Martin. Good evening, gentlemen, and happy Thanksgiving. And we're still celebrating our vets, so salute to both of you all month long. Shout out to Pink Fanfur, the realest real creator. Had her on with me for our what turned into a game watch party of the Panthers and the 49ers. We lost, but I'm wearing red because you know what? We're still gonna bleed all over everybody. Y'all gonna bleed all over us, I should say. But anyway, welcome and one and all, welcome to our YouTube platform. And guys, how are you all doing tonight?
Yeah, doing pretty good. Uneventful Thanksgiving. Just chilling at home. I hope you had a good one as well. You too, B.
Yeah, I did.
Absolutely uneventful is best. What's up, Monkey? Good to see you again. Haven't seen you in quite a while. I hope you had a great holiday with your kids. All right, y'all. So let's talk about. We got a lot to squeeze into this 1 hour, and we've already talked before we started going live here about some big college news tomorrow that I'll let J Train and B kind of take the lead on, as well as a little bit of NBA news, as well as other college news. Got the Bayou Classic tomorrow down in Louisiana, Grambling and Southern. Big thing going out tomorrow afternoon. Shout out to Pat Williams. You guys always call him the Williams brothers. I texted with him earlier today. Had him on last year, defensive back for the Vikings. He is a defensive coach for Grambling, and his son also plays with them. So go Grambling, and he watches our show. And also to Judge King and his sons, who are also sponsors of that big classic tomorrow. A lot of you all making the trip to Louisiana for that. But before we get there, let's back up with just a sketch here with some NFL news. This was a big week, pivotal week. Of course, I already told you the 49ers defeated the Panthers 20-9. Brock Purdy, Christian McCaffrey were the stunners of the entire show as they took care of the Panthers on the road. Panthers still in the wild card. I'm going to still be screaming until we see ourselves evaporate from that, which I don't expect it to happen. But I'm going to just keep shouting us out. We are right behind none other than the Dallas Cowboys, them boys. Let's get to some score recaps here from Week 12. We had the Bills falling to the Texans. Now, that was a shocker that ended up kicking off Week 12, the 20th of November, which is what we kicked off with for last week. Colts and Chiefs, which we now saw the Chiefs again in this week's matchup. Seattle getting it done. The Titans actually put up a fight on that game. Only one touchdown was what solidified the Seahawks win in the end. Jets and Ravens, and then of course a lot of those teams we saw this week, and let's bring you up to this week as well, because this week was the week that everything really kicked off. Packers and Lions, so sad, close game, but in the end, Jordan Love has said he's tired of everybody talking about Green Bay being garbage, and so they have been trying to really get themselves back on point here. Big NFC North matchup. 31-24. B, your thoughts on that game? We'll start off with you. What's up, Pink Fanfare?
I don't have no thoughts. Thoughts is they lost.
St. Brown is out with an ankle injury. That was a pivotal loss to you guys, at least from my vision on what happened. But unfortunately, we gotta have some thoughts. What's up, Sergio? What's up, Leonardo?
The pivotal losses started even before that, and that was Sam Laporta. But like I've been preaching all season, the Lions go where the inside offensive line goes. If the inside offensive line is not playing well, they're not going to play well, and they seem not to play well against better teams that are better defensive teams. So, and Green Bay is a better defensive team. And they've stopped them before in the first game, and they did a pretty good job on Jahmyr Gibbs in the second game as well. It was unfortunate that Amon Brown went down, but Jameson Williams did take over from that. He got 144 yards on I think it was 4 or 5. I forgot how many it was, seven receptions, something like that. But he got a touchdown. So I mean, they were in the game. Offensively, they were okay. It was a defense that really gave up a lot of stuff. They got to get that defensive. I think with Kirby is another guy that's out for the Lions that he is the guy that's the captain in the backfield. And he's the one that gets all the communication done with all the corners and the safeties and stuff like that. I with that being said, I mean, they gotta man up. They got a lot of injuries going on, but I'm not making that an excuse. They just gotta play with a little bit more intensity. Dan Campbell's got to learn how to call a little bit better too, because they going on it for fourth down all the time. It's starting to wear on people. You can't be doing that. You got to live in a moment of the game, not trying to be pump my chest. I'm the bad gorilla out here. You can't do that. Sorry. So it is what it is.
Jordan,
good games to the Green Bay. Jordan Love had a hell of a game.
4 touchdowns.
And what's his name?
Josh Jacobs,
83 yards, 17 carries.
He was okay. They stopped him though, pretty much. But hey, they get him 100 yards. The Lions won't allow 100-yard rushes that much. But I mean, other than that, there was a good game by them. It's going to be between them and Chicago for the division title.
I mean,
I agree. Jared Goff, 2 touchdowns, 20 out of 25 passes for 256 yards. Still solid yards by him. Jahmyr Gibbs, 20 carries, still not even 100 yards himself, only 68 yards. And Jamison Williams, 1 touchdown, 7 receptions, though, but big yards. He put up 144 yards. On the other side, you got, like I said, Green Bay making sure they just don't stay in that category with the losers right now. 6 receptions for Dontavian Wicks, 2 touchdowns by himself, not 100 yards, but 94, close enough. Those 2 touchdowns make a difference. And we talked about Josh Jacobs and Jordan Love. That was, we expect for teams to step up when it is time for the divisional rivals. And this is the time of season that no one's playing anymore. Like, if games are, it's a game, but if games are over if you want to be anywhere. J-Train, you had some comments on this one?
Just to piggyback off what B. Strella was saying is that the coach has to do better. The 2 fourth down turnover on downs, I don't have a problem with you actually going for it on 4th down, but picking and choosing your battles, knowing when to do that. And it seems like when he did it, he was very predictable. Those play calls, I could look at it and tell what he was about to do. So if I'm just a novice podcaster looking at that saying, okay, he's about to run it, they're going to stop that. The defensive, any average or above average defensive coordinator is going to know exactly what you're about to do, and they're going to shut it down. And they did. They shut both down, and they were able to score off those turnover on downs. And that, to me, those were very pivotal. And being able to shut down Jahmyr Gibbs, this is a guy that coming off a 260-plus all-purpose yard game. He only had 3.8 or 3.4 per carry. So, and I think he had 20 rushes, like you said. So they were able to shut him down. And I got to give credit to the defense of Green Bay. Micah Parsons also, 2.5 sacks. He's the only linebacker or defensive player to have 12 sacks or at least in 5 seasons or more, 12 or more in 5 seasons. So kudos to him. And like you said, it's going to be between the Bears and the Packers trying to vie for the top of this division.
Let's move on over to your game, J-Train. Another NFC matchup. This time the South. Falcons and Saints, always an entertaining game, to put it mildly. Kirk Cousins back in action. Michael Penix out the remainder of the season. Kirk Cousins now QB1, earning some of that $93 million that he still got the Falcons on the hook for. And because they were not able to solidify a deal by last week, which was the trade deadline, they may as well keep him where he is, because he does need to earn at least some of that money. And he went in there chains to toe and got it done in New Orleans, 24-10, in a game that looked competitive for a little bit until it pretty much was not. However, Kirk Cousins himself had 2 touchdowns. He did have 1 interception, 199 yards for his NFL debut, or should I say re-debut, 16 for 23. And then Bijan, they held him for under 100 yards, but 14 carries. He's always the carrier of that team. And Darnell Mooney, coming out of the darkness here on him, 3 receptions, 74 yards, 1 touchdown. Got to keep him covered. On the flip side, you guys seem solid on Tyler Shuck. 30 for 43, one interception, but 243 yards. And then he also had 7 carries behind Taysom Hill. They brought him in. I like to see some of those little trick plays. He kind of plays different ones, running back, quarterback, everything. Taysom is there. And then Chris Olave, 9 receptions for 70 yards. Unfortunately, you all now have Alvin Kamara, who is now going to be one of the injured parties for the next game coming up next week here, J-Train.
So Kamara, yeah, he had a weird play on the sideline where both knees were landed awkwardly, and he's going to be out. But also, Chris Olave is going to be out too. So we're going to be definitely vying for the number 1 pick in the NFL up for the draft for 2026, and I'm not mad at that. We need players. The Saints are not in a position right now where they're playing hard, like you said, at some parts of the game, but they can't finish because they're missing a lot. They got a rookie head coach. He sometimes coach like a rookie head coach. You got rookie quarterbacks. A second-year quarterback that we had in Spencer Rattler played well at times, played, not enough to put the team over the top. Tyler Shuck is a rookie. And you see some of the rookie things that he does, but you see why they drafted him at 40th overall as well, because he show you some things that he can do. Like you said, he can not only throw the ball, and he's got pop on that ball when he throws it, and a real good touch. But he also makes some. If he gets rattled and line doesn't hold up, he can make some errant throws as well. But he can run the ball too. So I like what we got in Spencer Rattler. And with that said, not Spencer Rattler. I like what we have in Spencer Rattler too, but I like what we have in Tyler Shuck. And I don't think Tyler Shuck is going to be a second-string quarterback next season. I think he'll be the number 1 guy going in, and they won't have to draft a quarterback in the first round. They can get a player to help elevate Tyler Shuck, maybe another offensive lineman, interior, or a number 1 wide receiver. But just to say one more thing about that, Kirk Cousins, you mentioned him and his numbers. He always seems to have the Saints number. And when he was in Minnesota or when he was in Atlanta last year, he just knows how to put New Orleans at the right at the last minute. He just put us out of the game and out of reach. So I got to give kudos to Kirk Cousins, man. It is what it is.
And we see everyone coming on. Hello to everybody. You hit the thumbs up button for us. That lets everybody else know that we are live. We appreciate all the comments on here. Monkey, glad you got your power back on. I love to snow. He's up near Buffalo. Hello to Donna. Hope you had a great Thanksgiving as well. And yes, Pink Fan, for what happened to them, we'll talk about them. Those Eagles have clearly been landed for a little bit. Yenzer, good to see you as well. I want to know, are these gentlemen going to be out for the Saints on December 14th?
That's hard to tell. I'm not sure. They're just out for this game, and I guess they're going day to day. It's not like an IR thing, but they definitely did not practice this week, and they're going to be out for this game. So that's all we know right about now.
Yeah, everyone knows why I'm asking about a specific date. December 14th, we reunite, we being the Panthers, with the Saints, and I plan on being at that game, and I would like to get a dub on the road. So I'll just move on over to my game, since this is just the order that we actually are going in tonight. Since we started with B, now we got J. And all of us tonight are eating humble pie, unfortunately. The 49ers-Panthers game, I guess you guys probably thought I wasn't going to talk about it much, and I really don't want to, but just for those who don't know, and go ahead and put your cheering emojis up, haters. We see you. Panthers did lose 20-9. Christian McCaffrey, first time meeting the Panthers in a renewal, revival, whatever you want to call it, reveal, I don't know, reconciliation. Very calm and casual, greeting. But when the game clock started, it was all business on the field. Bryce Young, 18 for 29. Just that game was horrible. Let's just be clear. That was the messiest game I've seen on both sides in a very long time. Before we even go any further, Bryce had 2 interceptions. Brock Purdy had 3 interceptions. Had either team capitalized on the other's interceptions, no one made a conversion over the interceptions. It was just a game of, oh, you get the ball. No, I'm going to give it back to you. It's like we're just going to play this thing fair, straight down the middle until it was time for game time. Rico Dowdle was absolutely absent on that game. I don't know what Canales was doing. Was he trying to deliberately playing him more conservative or what? Because a couple times he wasn't even out there. Chuba Hubbard was there. We saw Jalen Coker get touched the ball, a lot of touches, big score by him. Rico Dowdle, 6 carries, 38 yards, y'all. 38, not even 50 yards. And he has been the game changer for every game that the Panthers have had since we were gifted him by the Cowboys. He had 4 receptions and 36 yards. And then on the other side, Brock Purdy, 3 interceptions, 193 yards. Neither quarterback had 200 yards in that game. Christian McCaffrey didn't even have 100 yards. That game was ugly all around. All around. George Kittle didn't even have 100 yards, 78 yards. It just ended up being the luck of the draw. Whoever played the least messiest of the game. And like Pink Fan First said, she and I did a pregame show. It was super fun. We decided to come back in and do a halftime little update. Didn't know it was going to look like it did. And then we just stayed on because so many people were like literally doing a game watch with us. They were commenting. Shout out to all those ladies and gentlemen that came on. We had 600 views during that hour of time that we were on those. So thank you so much. As a matter of fact, it was 641 to be exact. Thank you all so much for making that super fun. Pink, thank you for availing yourself for the availability. Other than the fun that we had with that game, it's horrible. And I'm going to just tell y'all now we got the Rams Sunday, and I'm not hopeful. I'm going to be a realist here, and this is real. The Rams absolutely obliterated Tampa Bay on Sunday. And the Panthers, even at home, we are not exempt anymore. If we don't see a difference with solid discipline on that field on Sunday, that game is going to get out of control real quick. Chiefs and Cowboys, we'll talk about that. The Cowboys in an unprecedented, I mean, I'm glad it was the Chiefs that got beat 31-28, but Patrick Mahomes was not going to lay down on that. You guys, when y'all watched that game, we saw the funny part was when Travis Kelce got the touchdown and the cameraman immediately was looking for wasn't there. Only Brittany Mahomes was there with the kids. I guess Taylor has stepped away. But did you all expect the Chiefs to lose again? I mean, the stats are uncanny. Patrick Mahomes, 4 touchdowns. He tried to come back on them, 261 yards. 24 for 34, but then Dak had 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, and still won. Kareem Hunt came in there 58 yards. Rashee Rice, former Saint, that was out there, 2 touchdowns by himself. And then Javonte on the flip side for the Cowboys, 17 carries, 59 yards, and CeeDee Lamb 1 touchdown by himself. Did the Cowboys just get lucky with this one, or are the Cowboys slowly coming back, y'all?
Yeah, the Cowboys are for real. They're starting to come back. They solidified the middle of their line, so running is not great going up the middle anymore. They got a lot of their defensive backfield starters back too. That's another thing that's helping them out. They're playing with a little bit better vigor too. They just came off beating Philadelphia, so not only did they beat the Super Bowl champions, they beat the Super Bowl runners-up in 2 back-to-back games. So, I mean, Dallas is, hey, I'm telling you right now, the next damn game they play is against the Detroit Lions. I don't see the Lions winning that game. I just don't. Because Dallas is, like, right here, and Detroit's, like, is starting to descend because they don't have no – everything is falling apart at the wrong time for the Lions right now. So, it doesn't look good for them. I don't even know if they can make the playoffs, to tell you the truth. But Dallas, let's go back to Dallas. Dallas looks like they're for real. Dak has been playing great all season. The offense has not been the problem. Mm-hmm. It's the defense that's been falling apart on them. Now the defense is starting to. That's why, hey, if your offense is playing good and your defense just has to catch up, and they're catching up at the right time of the season too.
So there are 3 key moves here. One, the acquisition of George Pickens. Mm-hmm. So picking him up, he is in a place where he feels like a quarterback and throwing the ball, and it's evident. It's not like I'm just giving you hyperbole or I'm just shooting stuff out there. He's got 1,000+ yards already with 8+ touchdowns, and he is killing. I mean, and he's given better opportunities for CeeDee Lamb as well. As you see, he had a really good game as well in there. But Javonte Williams is running the ball great. They got a good running back. I mean, this guy, look at his numbers. I think he's almost at 1,000 himself rushing.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah. And so where did he come from? Nobody's talking about him. I think he's underrated. And the second coming of Rico Dowdle. Hopefully they keep him. They don't let him go like they let Rico Dowdle go. And also, last but not least, the acquisition or trade for Quinnen Williams. I think giving up the first round, that second rounder, it might be worth it because Quinnen is on a tear. He's playing out of his mind. As long as he can stay healthy, that's going to be really pivotal for Dallas upcoming because they're trying to get into the playoffs. And they might be on their way if they can keep playing. If they can win out, they're going to get in the wild card somewhere. But they're doing much better than what people expected. I think. And like B said, the offense is not what we're not the problem. The defense was the main. Giving up all that run defense was atrocious. Not anymore. So that should help them a lot. And this was a close game. Like you said, Patrick Mahomes played out of his mind. He was coming back, but it just wasn't enough. It wasn't enough.
Let's talk about the Bengals and Ravens game. I picked the Bengals to upset the Ravens, and I'm glad they did it. Joe Burrow, Mr. Cool, Joe Cool, welcome back. Welcome back. And, everybody was asking him, why are you back at 3-8? You're clearly not going to make the playoffs. He said, hey, I just want to play the game. And play he did against Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry, and the rest of the Ravens, 32-14 in a stunner. I mean, fans were absolutely stunned on this with Joe Burrow. 2 touchdowns, 261 yards like he never left. 24 out of 46 completions for him. Lamar Jackson had 246 yards right on the nick, but he also had 1 interception that cost them that game. I mean, in addition to other things, 2 fumbles, right. And then Chase Brown on the Bengals side as well, 78 yards. And Jamar Chase, him and Burrow linked up like it was old days. I was literally excited to see them. 110 yards, Mr. Chase himself. And Isaiah Likely was playing his best, almost 100 yards, 95 yards, but he was playing. Him and Derrick Henry up behind Lamar Jackson were the game leaders. Derrick Henry himself had 1 touchdown, but it was not enough, and the Bengals got it done, double the Baltimore Ravens, guys. What were your thoughts on that game?
So I'm going to say the opposite of what you just said. I don't think the Bengals won this game. I think the Ravens lost this game. 2 touchdowns that were taken off the board. 1 by questionable offensive pass interference by Zay Flowers. That shouldn't have even been. Even the ref that's on the commentator said that shouldn't have been called an offensive pass because he didn't really extend. He just tapped the guy a little bit. Yep. So they took 7 points off the board. Isaiah Likely, the guy you just mentioned, had all those yards. He fumbled the ball in the end zone and got a touchback. That's 14-point swing right there. That's a 14-point swing right there. And Lamar Jackson, they fumbled 4 times. The team fumbled 4 times. Now, I'm going to give Cincinnati Bengals their win, but I think the miscues for the Ravens really would put them out of that
game.
B. I think, all the hype that was coming in there for Joe Burrow, the really thing that surprised me about that whole game wasn't Joe Burrow. It wasn't even, Lamar's lack of running around and stuff like that. He's obviously got a bad ankle. He's got a bad wheel. So, but the Bengals defense, they came to play. They had 5 turnovers, 3 sacks. So I mean, it wasn't just the Ravens making mistakes. It was the Bengals putting them in them situations to make them mistakes. So I saw something different. I guess what happens is when you have your quarterback, that's your starting quarterback, when you ever had a main guy of your team that goes out for a while and then he comes back, I guess he revitalizes the mentality of the team. And the defense said, you know what? Because Burrow is back, we ain't going to be the 32nd defense anymore. And we're going to start moving up the pile just like the Ravens did. And I just That division is just so wide open now. That division is just going to be way wide open. I don't even know who can win that division right now. If Cincinnati does what they did last year, I doubt it. But if they did what they did last year and they reel off a whole bunch of consecutive wins, they can win that division. Never know.
I'm not going to anoint that defense just yet. Again, I saw a lot of things. I mean,
I wasn't anointing them. I said they can't play.
I guess. I watched that all 22. You'll see a lot of things the Bengals did were gifted them. Don't mind you. Again, they got the win. I'm gonna tell you that. But a lot of things happened that were really on the fault of the Ravens. Like the throw that Lamar threw. That's the Tuck rule. That was a fumble. So he did that. The Bengals didn't cause that. That was him. He threw that down. He was trying to throw it, and he dropped the ball. He threw it down. They called it a fumble. Again, a lot of things that happened, and the fumble that happened in the end zone, he wasn't holding the ball. It's on him. That's Lamar, Isaiah Likely. And seeing the Ravens lose is always. Oh yeah, of course.
Yes, it was another kind of a sloppy game. Another game that we're going to move to, and then we'll move today's game, and then we'll move on past it. We mentioned this a little bit. I just want to know, what do you guys think is really wrong with the Philadelphia Eagles? I mean, the Cowboys just lassoed them in a nail biter, 24-21. Eagles are 8-3. Now the Cowboys are suddenly at 500 when a couple of weeks ago they were 3 and something, and we were counting them out. Jalen Hurts had 1 touchdown only, putting up the yards and carries. Dak Prescott right there on him, 354 yards against the defense of the Philadelphia Eagles. And Javonte Williams, George Pickens seems to be that missing part that they needed. People were like, how would they ever survive once Michael Parsons was no longer there? But I mean, like you guys said, the Cowboys are for real, but what is wrong with the Eagles is my question. This seems to be a lull. I mean, they're still 8-3. Let's not get it twisted. But they just don't seem to be the Eagles we've seen.
Well, let's go to the game they played today. They played the Bears today.
Right. We're gonna talk about that next, but we'll just go ahead and screech on into that now. Thanks, J Train.
You got it.
Today's game, 24-15. They weren't even there. Caleb Williams had 154 yards, 1 interception, and still beat them. Despite Jalen Hurts having 2 touchdowns, 230 yards, and Saquon Barkley was almost eliminated from that game. He was abysmal, 56 yards, and 13 carries. Kyle Monaghay, for someone I hadn't even really read up on that much, was pivotal with 22 carries, and Cole Kmet as well. But Caleb Williams, I mean, this is the year 9-3. The Bears sit, and they are ahead of the Eagles. I mean, I know we talked about coming on to the show that that they were solid contenders for the North. I'll put it like that. Let's just say they are. So let's talk about it, J Train. I mean, what is wrong with the Eagles now that we see they've now fallen to the Bears?
It's a combination of things. It's a combination of things. I think the offensive coordinator is not as good as Kellen Moore was. You're losing some of the players on the offensive line. Mekhi Becton is a huge loss. Having an interior offensive line, they can't do the push like they usually do. And Jalen Hurts, his communication between his receivers is just not great. This particular game, he had 230 yards, 2 TDs, but a lot of it was really just pickup when the defense, I guess, let up a little bit, and they were able to connect with him and AJ Brown. But before that, he was missing target on a lot of guys, man. And let's just not talk about that. That part of the game was bad, but this defense gave up 281 yards on the ground rushing. Manungai had 125 yards, 130 yards. Swift had 125 yards. You're not winning. You're not winning the game if you're giving up that much running on the ground. That's like he said. They only had the ball for 20 minutes. They controlled the clock. They couldn't stop the run, and they couldn't run the ball. And that was the key to the game. But I think part of it, again, is offensive coordinator probably needs to be fired. And I hate to even call for anybody's job. I'm just a sideline guy on the podcast, but that's part of the game. And I think it's totally different from what they had last year. And the offensive line is not as good. And they were kind of reverting back to what B said last time. I didn't think they were at the 2023, but it kind of does look like they're 2023 Eagles right now.
B, what are your thoughts?
I think the defense is regressing for the Eagles right now. They've played 2 games where they had a 21-0 lead and they lost 24-21. This game, they were getting beat from the get-go. Ben Johnson came out there and had a really – hey, you know what? I tell you what. I've been down on the Chicago Bears all this season because I just didn't believe in them. But I said if they beat the Philadelphia – and they beat the Philadelphia Eagles. They beat them soundly. And I have a lot more. I'm a lot more impressed with that Chicago team than I was when I went into this game. Philadelphia, Nick Sirianni, when they had got the touchdown to make it a 10-point game, they instead of kicking that field goal, they went for 2. Dumb. I don't even know why they did that. That's just dumb. That's dumb. Point, idiotic. Take the points. Just get the field. Yep. Just get the extra point and try to get the ball later. Because I mean, you call the commentators called that. I mean, all you had to do was get the extra point, use your 3 timeouts, and stop them, and then go back down the field and score. Because they were moving the ball pretty well, effectively in the air when they needed to do that. Whether the defense, and that's where I think the Chicago defense is a little suspect. A lot of people say, well, everybody, the other corners came back in, but I think their corners are suspect in any passing game. But again, what they're not doing as well, the Eagles this year, and that's got to do with the play calling, is utilizing Jalen Hurts. Let him run around some and let him run for some first downs or run whatever he can. Because what that does is that opens it up for Saquon. And that's what was happening last year. That's why Saquon was so free. He ran for 2,000 yards because they had a threat of Jalen and him running the ball. And they haven't been doing that with Jalen Hurts this year. And I think that's what's slowing up their offense. But they don't figure that out. And Nick Sirianni said he's sticking with Pacello. So it is what it is. I mean, it's the same thing. Like I said, these teams that are trying to do this, Dan's going to stick with his play call with the Lions too. You're not doing well. Just give it up. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I don't know, man. But, yeah, Chicago is outstanding. They're playing really good ball.
And Grady Jarrett looks like he's having the time of his life. I saw some footage of him going into the locker room. I know he's glad he left Atlanta. At first he was, he's a Georgia guy. He's from here in the metro area. And he was, kind of scoring. He couldn't believe that the Falcons were trading him. He was like, he had planned on just being Georgia here, his whole life. And now I'm sure he is glad because he has a true run at the championship this year. I don't know how far the Bears will go, but they look really good. Before we flip corners here, I want to get, because I've already plugged in my thoughts on my Sunday game, so has B about his. And J-Train, I do want to get your plug on the Dolphins and Saints game. I'm going to wrap up with some a few pointers about some Sunday games with injuries and whatnot, and then we'll switching over to some college news we got to break in here with.
Okay, my plug, Dolphins win. Move on to the next week.
Okay.
They gave the Dolphins 5.5, though. I don't see them winning by 5.5.
If there's no Chris Olave, if there's no Chris Olave and no Alvin Kamara, that might be a tough. Yeah, that might be tough.
No Chris Olave. I didn't see that on my injury report. But
all right. We got, speaking of injuries, the Buccaneers, Todd Bowles has said Baker Mayfield has been having some shoulder injuries. You guys probably saw him in the last game, but he is trending to play on Sunday versus the Cardinals. C.J. Stroud of the Texans has cleared concussion protocol and is set to return versus the Colts on Sunday. After a shaking off the rust, we told you guys Joe Burrow is definitely back, got that big win over the Ravens. Aaron Rodgers, who's been having some wrist injuries, is slated to return on Sunday versus the Bills. Monkey's already told us they got some snow up that way. And a lot of 5 big players, including Rose Boone, is still out for the Panthers defense on Sunday versus the Rams. And we've already plugged in the other news. Got some big news. I saw Yenser's comment from Josina Anderson earlier, but I do want to talk about that. So I'm going to segue and let Jay and B talk about this a little bit. Got some big news from the college world. Go ahead, guys.
Okay, well, we can talk about the Egg Bowl that just occurred, and the reason why we're talking. I mean, usually that's a stinker. Nobody wants to talk about Ole Miss versus Mississippi State, but definitely Mississippi State has been on the upward trajectory, and including that a playoff-bound home game they're going to likely have because they won this game. They're 11-1 for the first time in a long time, and at the center of that attention of that particular game is Lane Kiffin. Right now, if anybody doesn't know, Lane Kiffin has been in the news for potentially wanting to either leave Ole Miss or stay at Ole Miss or go to either LSU or Florida. So right now, as we know, Florida has put themselves out of the running for the Lane Kiffin sweepstakes. They're no longer trying to pursue him because I believe they're saying it's taking too long, and he every time they talk to him, he's giving them a little bit of runaround. What people are saying is that he's likely either to stay at Ole Miss or go to LSU, and I think the latter is more likely. What I saw, I'm going to tell you what I saw. I think optically, looking at body language is everything. Between him and the players, every time a good or great play happened, they would come to the sideline, he'd give him a hug or pat him on the back, give him an attaboy. One of the players that scored a long touchdown, it was Deuce Alexander. He was hyped after he did like the when you racing at the 100-meter dash, he put the head down, scored. He came to the sideline, he was real hyped. Lane had to grab him. He was trying to walk away from Lane. He had to grab him and pull him and say congrats, and give him a hug and tell him. I guess the boy looked like he didn't want to be around Lane. So that kind of tells me that those things that I saw, it looks like Lane might be leaving. We're going to get a definitive answer tomorrow, Saturday, as to whether he's staying or whether he's leaving. But maybe 70% on a poll, ESPN, some other writers and analysts alike think that Lane Kiffin is going to LSU. I think so too, but there's still a great possibility that he stays. And I will say this also: if he does not stay, in my own honest opinion, I think he still should be allowed to coach them in the playoffs because he's the one that got them there. And when they vote for playoffs, they can vote you differently if somebody's not there, like a star player or a coach or whatnot. They can change up their votes and move you down because they're gonna, if they win by all intents and purposes, I mean not win, but if he's there by all intents and purposes, they got a home game in the first round of the playoffs.
Okay, yeah, that's pretty big news. I know B was watching the game. This is all the bowls weekend. This is just what Thanksgiving is. The bowls weekend is galore. The Georgia Tech Georgia rivalry went down. Georgia UGA held off Georgia Tech and moved to 11-1 in their rivalry game today. I know that some of these games are pretty big that have like playoff contention still. But B, your game is coming up. Michigan versus the Ohio State. Your thoughts going into that game tomorrow? Is it tomorrow? It's tomorrow, right?
Yeah, tomorrow.
Yeah, what time will it be airing?
Just one thing about the Lane Kiffin thing. Florida has interest in Tulane's coach, Pat Summerall. John
Summerall.
John Summerall. Yeah.
They want Pat. He's coming back from the grave. If Pat's coming,
it's a Summerall. Dang it. Anyway, that's the reason why Florida's not interested in Lane Kiffin right now. My views about it, I think Mississippi, Ole Miss will keep him. I'm telling. I don't know. I just don't have no. You can go by a lot of stuff. It could steer you in a different kind of way. Just like you said, the players on the sideline, that player was probably just so juiced up about getting the touchdown, he wasn't caring who the heck was touching on him. So he probably wasn't even aware of anything going around him. So I don't know if I can say that he was trying to stay away from Lane Kiffin, but anyway. Also, Texas A&M and Texas are playing, and Texas A&M has a 10-3 lead at halftime. That's a big game because Texas A&M is in third in the poll, and they are undefeated. And Texas is 16th, I believe. Yep.
They are
pretty
16th.
mad because Michigan is 15th, and they don't know how the heck they moved ahead of them. But don't lose any games, and you have to worry about it. Anyway, that's all I got to say. As far as the Michigan-Ohio State game goes, I mean, I kind of had the same interest as I had in it yesterday or last year. I didn't think they were going to win the game against OSU, and I was really kind of disinterested. And the only reason why I was disinterested because of the fact I'm not a big Sharon fan. I just
Sharon Moore,
yeah,
he's
Sharon.
still there.
I don't have. Even if he wins this game, he's just not.
Yeah.
I don't even know what the words that would explain it to him. I like the guy; he's a likable guy, but coaching, on the other hand, is something that he's like an assistant. You know how some people are born head coaches and some people are just born assistants?
Rah guy.
Shamar Moore is like that. He's a rah guy, assistant kind of coach. He's not really a great head coach. I also think Michigan's offensive coordinator needs to be booted too because he's not doing a very good job with Bryce Underwood. I just don't think he's doing a very good job with the offense in general. The offense is missing their number one running back in Hayes. He won't be playing in this game. And also their safety is going to be out. Their number one safety will probably be out in this game too. But in saying that, I thought that Michigan would lose last year because they were abysmal 3-something at the time they played Ohio State, and they still beat them. One thing about this rivalry, records don't matter. The players on both sides don't matter. It's who guts it out, who has the heart, who has the grit, who's going to win this game because it's really a hated match. It's like family members. It's like, you have your cousins come over and you have that one cousin you hate. And so you want to be lined up against them in the Thanksgiving backyard bowl and just run them over. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like that in a sense with Ohio State and Michigan. There's really no rhyme or reason how these teams win. Teams could be number one and the number 20th team could knock them off. Michigan's beaten Ohio State when they weren't ranked last year. So, and Ohio State beat Michigan when they were ranked number one. So it's really hard to fathom who's going to win this game. It's in Ann Arbor, but that don't mean anything either. Michigan beat them in a horseshoe last year. So it's really confusing on how you can figure out these games. Ohio State on paper should whoop their behind. But they were supposed to whoop their behind last year too, but that didn't happen. So, it'll be fun. The game will be fun for, us fans, because that's what we're looking at. We're just looking at, it's just like me and Fern will be going at it.
He's conveniently not available. Which let me point out, Fern, we know you ain't got no games now, Fern. The season is over, so where are you? This is the one show you need to be on. Like, you don't have a show, but I guarantee you next Friday. I guarantee
you, if he wins tomorrow, he'll be all up on next chat.
He'll do the show early.
Squidward is looking out the window. Trust me, he's looking out the window. He's watching. Squidward. He's watching.
He watching. Utah, of course, is beating Kansas right now. Well, they beat them. 31-21. Ole Miss beat Mississippi State 38-19. I told you guys that Georgia beat Georgia Tech. The score was 16-9 in that game. Texas game still going on. Purdue is getting mollywopped bad, 28-3. That would sound familiar to some of you Falcon fans. Indiana versus Purdue right now. And Arizona versus Arizona State is 0-0. That game just kicked off. Jay, what you got going? What are your thoughts on this whole weekend and, all these teams, all these bowls, I can't keep up. The Mayo Bowl, They got all kind of foods. I mean, that Mayo Bowl is disgusting. Honestly,
Dukes, the Dukes
yeah,
Mayo Bowl.
yeah. And then I heard what they
Right.
do to the wing. I'm like, ugh, that's disgusting. Like the Egg Bowl is already disgusting. It's just nasty. Like, come on, y'all. Stick to
It
the
sounds
Rose Bowl,
disgusting,
Fiesta
right?
Bowl.
Exactly.
Oh, somebody's
Yeah.
trying to make some egg
So
salad.
LSU plays Oklahoma at Oklahoma, so I don't think they have a chance a snowball chance in hell at winning that game. They're number 8, so if they take them down, that'd be a nice upset. But I just don't see that happen. Just like B said with Ohio State, there's a possibility that Michigan can win because they won all their games against them the past 6 or 7 times. But it just looks, it doesn't look optically on paper and everything. It doesn't look like it's going to happen. The biggest thing again, I mean, I know I don't want to go back to it, but B said that he thinks Lane Kiffin's going to stay at Ole Miss. My thing is, they offered him the money a while back. He didn't take it, and he didn't answer them. So to me, by all intents and purposes, that means I want to leave my options open for somewhere else. And you don't send your family out to go visit other places unless you really know you're going to be there. And the money's been put on the table. I don't know if they countered anything. Maybe did they counter anything? No, I don't know. I just think that egg salad.
They are putting together a package for him.
Yeah. Well, they better put it together quick because the one LSU gave is incredible.
Well, of course, we haven't mentioned them. The Ducks are playing. They're quacking. Number 6 ranked Oregon Ducks playing Washington. I think Washington is unranked. I don't even see a number by them. Are they unranked or something?
They're unranked. Yeah, they're unranked.
Yeah, they don't have no number. I was like, does that mean I'm ranked tomorrow at 3:30? Do you guys think upset alert on that one? These teams that don't have anything to play for.
No.
I mean, usually, upsets usually happen more at the beginning of the season, not at the end of the season, because you know what their teams are at that point. So I think most of the upsets will start fading off as the weeks continue. I don't think there's going to be too many more upsets. I do want to point out you pointed out the Purdue was getting blown out by Indiana. Indiana, to me, I'm sorry, is the best football team in the nation right now. They're killing everybody. They don't care who's coming in to play them. They're blowing everybody out. And that's something Ohio State's not doing to a par. They're winning their games, but they're not blowing them, man. Besides that one game Indiana had earlier in the season, but they found a way to win that game. And it was a spectacular win, actually. But other than that, they haven't had too many people close to them as far as the score is concerned. So we'll find out in the Big Ten. I think Keith is a big proprietor of that. He says you can't really tell who's going to be good between Ohio State and Indiana until they play each other, and they will be playing each other if both of them are in the Big Ten championship. So,
yeah, Vandy and Tennessee are playing tomorrow, and then Alabama and Auburn are playing. Alabama lost one of their key players, but they're still predicted to win 68%. That's the I don't know. I want to say the Alabama Bowl, and I know that's not what you call it.
The Iron Bowl. The Iron Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, I'm sitting here like I know it's the Iron Bowl, but I want to say Alabama Bowl so bad. That's why I was like, what do you call it? Which one? And then Notre Dame, they are still ranked at number 9. They are playing Stanford tomorrow night, real late, like 10:30 at night.
Of course, Stanford.
Charlotte's playing Tulane. Charlotte is not ranked, Charlotte, North Carolina, but they are playing number 24, Tulane. And that's tomorrow evening. SMU playing California. UCLA versus USC. USC ranked number 17 coming into tomorrow night's game. They're playing at 7:30. And Virginia Tech are also playing. Virginia is still ranked at number 18. And J-Train, you mentioned LSU, who's not ranked, versus number 8 Oklahoma. A lot of big games coming up tomorrow, and I know we plugged in Keith Engel, TGI Sports. He's a big college football head on here as far as keeping us up to date on all that. The Arizona State versus Arizona game is still scoreless right now, and the third quarter has started in our Texas A&M versus Texas game here. And then, yeah, that's pretty much what we got going on for here. Let me make sure there's no more. Y'all got any other breaking news going on with NFL or NBA as we get ready to wrap up our last 8-9 minutes here?
Oklahoma City Thunder are just killing it right now. They're 18-1. I told Jack, I said, just watch out for them. And that's crazy because they don't even have Jalen Williams playing yet. Scary. They're the favorites to repeat for me.
And just on a small college note, my Navy team earlier on Thursday beat Memphis 28-17. They're doing pretty good, man. I'm just waiting for the Army Navy game, so that'll be good. I mean, I don't think they're not going to be in any playoffs. They did that by messing up against the Mean Machine, but it happens. And the Pistons are playing.
I was just about to talk about the Pistons. I was just about to say the Pistons and Raptors are actually on shocking surges this season, while the Clippers have actually just gone down the tunnel. B, that's your team, the Pistons. What you got?
Well, they lost their first in a while, huh?
Who's that?
The Pistons last night.
Yeah, they lost. They lost against Boston Wednesday night. Right now they're tied 100-100 in playing Orlando right now with 4:10 left in the fourth.
They killing.
That's an NBA group cup group play. So yeah, Boston did a pretty good job on them. They beat Boston earlier anyway. But I mean, the Pistons been playing some pretty good steady ball. The team is gelling really, really well. But I hope they can keep the consistency up for the rest of the year because again, you still got good teams. And the one game that I actually saw all the way through was the Cleveland game they lost. And dude, I was like, you guys are awful. I mean, Cleveland was killing, and they couldn't hit a layup. The Pistons couldn't hit a layup in this game. They were trying to get points any way they can. Balls bouncing off the rim, balls not even missing the rim. They trying to make a layup that wouldn't work. I was like, dude, what are you guys doing? Are you in some kind of vortex where you can't shoot? I don't know what's going on. But
what's up, Brent?
Brent said go Army too.
Yeah, and go Hornets. Go Charlotte Hornets. They're beating the Bulls right now with 1:14 left, Chicago. But welcome back to Giannis Antetokounmpo, who after missing 4 games with a groin injury, he's back in the NBA Cup versus the New York Knicks. That they got this big game after missing 4 games of the last one. So he strained his left groin in a 118-106 loss against the Cavs back on November 17th. But he's back. You guys know they play a bunch of games in the NBA. And so he's averaging 31.2 points, 10.8 rebounds, and 6.8 assists. And he actually scored 14 points in 13 minutes before getting injured. So he is on fire. The Bucks are 0-5 this season when he doesn't play. So they need him. He's now back. So look forward to getting a reignited Bucks out there.
Can we look up Wembanyama? I remember he was hurt a calf injury that was going to take him off for 4 to 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Is he still out?
Yep.
He's still. Well, that's devastating because he was on a tear. And he was on a tear.
Yeah, the Spurs. He was supposed to be. And that game actually is going on right now. The Spurs are actually playing the Nuggets. It's a 1-point game. It's live right now. 20-19. And there's another thing. What's up, Nathan? Hi. I don't know who it is, but hello. Anyway, thank you for joining us again. I just feel like he's a big issue, but not only that, J Train, I was going to ask you about our favorite person we talk about every year for the Pelicans, none other than Zion Williamson. He's hurt 1 week, the next day they say he's back. What's the status of Zion right now?
He's playing right now, but I mean, the status of the Pelicans altogether is in the dumps. So I mean, And it don't even matter if he's playing or not. I mean, they won like 3 games, man. So they're trash right now. And I just don't know. I think a lot of it, like they have rookies, they have to fire their head coach, and so right now
Mhm.
they got an interim coach. It's a lot, and I think this year is probably going to be a wash, and they're going to need to regroup and I don't know if Zion's in the future of this team. They're trying to make him the future, but he can't stay healthy.
Yeah, that's my thing. And B, you probably agree with this. Okay, so he's healthy now. Then why not go ahead and trade? Yes, Monkey, thank you.
It'd be his team. He likes Chicago. I think he likes Chicago.
Thank you, Monkey. Thank you,
Monkey likes
Monkey.
Chicago.
But the point is, he just gave me some Carolina good news, so I can't ever miss that. Congratulations to the Charlotte Hornets. They are like my A- team, so I have like an A team since I do root for the Hawks. But when the Hornets are playing, I always kind of put them first. So there, congratulations to them, LaMelo Ball and crew.
Just to let you know, the Hawks are tied with the Cavaliers, 123 to 123, 124 left.
Okay, let's go Hawks.
Fourth quarter.
Let's go Hawks. Yes, LaMelo Ball, right, Monkey? That's what I said, LaMelo Ball and company. This is my thing, and B, you probably agree. Since every season, because not Zion, because it's still early, every season something happens with him and he goes down. Why would they not consider going ahead and trading him now where he has a little bit of stock left, getting you some good folks, maybe a solid vet out there, or for some good rookies coming in? You guys could have gone for, let's see how many years they got. The Boozer twins. You guys should be just trying to just hold out to get them. They got probably like 2 years before they declare for the league.
You know, I think the reason why they haven't traded Zion only because I think Dumars wants to give him a chance to prove himself this year. I think this is a prove it year for Zion. If he proves himself this year, which he's not doing too good at the beginning, but it's a long season. If he proves himself this year to be worthy of staying on this team, he'll keep him. If he's seeing the same pattern that's been the pattern of Zion for the last few years, he's going to get rid of him at the end of the season. The writing's on the wall for that one to me. I think just Dumars is giving him a chance because he just like firing the head coach. He's just trying to recycle stuff. He's trying to get a handle on stuff. They got rookies that are coming in here, some phenomenal rookies that are coming in that have come in there. He's just going through the project right now. And, it might be a wash as far as them not making the playoffs this year. I think they'll be more competitive as the season goes on near the end. And then we'll find out what happens at the end of the season. If Zion doesn't do his due diligence to be on that court and playing ball and doing well at doing that, he's not going to be there next year.
I mean, it's not his talent. I'm going to say this real quick. I know you're saying you got to close out.
Right.
It's not his talent. It's the health. Because when you see him play this year, he's still killing it. He is as talented as he was when he first got into the league. He's just not healthy all the time. And you got 2 rookies, so I hope that he can play with those rookies, and Derek Queen and Jeremiah Fears. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, everybody, have a great weekend too, Pink. But he was drafted 6 years ago, 6 seasons ago, 2019. That's a long time. They definitely have a little time and patience than the NFL would, because I don't see him. Like you guys said, he's giving him a chance to prove it. I think this is the year to make or break. And if not, they're not going to go into. It's not going to be a lucky 7 for the Pelicans because they've already put all their stock in. With that being said, everyone, enjoy the remainder of your weekend. Join us tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. sharp for the debate show with Jack B. Strilla and Jay Train, and Sunday morning for the big sports show with all of us. So you never know who we're going to have stopping by. Shout out to Pink Fan Fur for the reels, B for the production. With that, we wish you all a great holiday weekend and good night. Thanks, Vet.
Go Blue.